Hey, everybody, this is the Iron Pony Life Bring It to the Table podcast. Happy Thursday. We usually do this on Tuesday, but I had to work. Tracy's usually here, but we're going to be doing solo tonight. Tracy's not going to be here. His wife got injured on Wednesday. I went to his house on Wednesday to do the podcast, and while I was at the gas station about 2 miles down from his house, his wife was in the kitchen, and she was ripping towels into rags, like playing DayZ, and she had a pop in her collarbone, and she broke it. But anyway, she was trying to get through it. I set everything up for the podcast, and we sat down, and we started doing it. And this is the first time we actually tried to record it, and then I'm recording it at my house now. But she texted him, and he missed the text. Her son came down and said, "Hey, Tracy, we need to talk to you." And so I packed up everything up, and they went to the hospital, and they got x-rays, and she had a broken collarbone. I mean, it's a previous injury before. Like 6 months ago, she was on a Honda Navi, and she was, learning how to ride a little bit, and she got that whiskey throttle, I guess that's what they call it. And she went between a power station on the ground station and also a tree. And she broke it then. They put a metal rod in there to secure it and try to get it to heal correctly. And she just got that out about a week ago, and she shouldn't have been doing it, I guess, playing some DayZ in the kitchen. But either way, that's a story about Tracy, why he's not here. He's actually working tonight, but we got to get this podcast out. We got to get one out, per week, so everybody can have something to listen to, even though we might have only 2 or 3 listeners. What is the tagline? Iron Pony Life, nobody listening. But either way, let's get through this thing, and hopefully it's fun for you and fun for me, and I actually do a pretty good job since this is the first time we're actually filming this thing, and we'll see how it goes. So the first thing I want to talk about, what we talked about last time, was the weather. Well, actually, you know what? I'll talk about this weekend. We had some good weather this weekend, and Sunday was the best. It's about 70 degrees, and I decided not to ride. I don't know why, but what I decided to do was go clean out my garage, because I like to do the podcast out there in the garage and have some background as motorcycles, but I didn't get that completed. There was more stuff in the garage than I thought, and I'm going to have to go be continued episode on that one. But anyway, I have a lot of parts from the previous motorcycles I had. I have a Balkan S Kawasaki, but I also had a Indian Chief, and all of them motorcycles I put different aftermarket parts on to make it sound better, look better, and ride better. And I have a lot of the actual OEM parts, which when I traded the Indian Chief back in, I should have actually took them parts off, sold them, and got a little extra money, and put the OEM on it, and when I traded it. But I didn't do that. That was my mistake. So I got some OEM Indian Chief seats and handlebars and stuff like that. I just got to find a way to get rid of. Maybe I can put them cheap on Facebook Marketplace and see what happens. But either way, it didn't work out. So now we're in my kind of gym area. Behind me is the gym, and we're not going to talk about lifting weights or exercising or anything like that. But I do use this pretty much every night, about 1 hour. I actually worked out before this podcast, so hopefully I don't show all my muscles on this video. So this is something very rare for me. I don't like doing videos, but we got to get this on YouTube, and people like watching videos. And hopefully, I know we don't got the face, for TV, but we got a face for radio. And hopefully our voices are pretty good. That will carry us, hopefully 100%. But either way, we got to get it on YouTube, and YouTube, you got to have a video. So we're testing this right now. I do have a camera on its way. Hopefully it gets shipped out tomorrow. That would help us get to the 4K kind of video. And then I got another light that should help us out with some of this lighting that we have in this basement, and also when we go to his house, because most of the time we're going to be at his house in his basement doing the podcast until we get a actual studio built out of different stuff. I mean, not really a studio built. We're just going to make a room with some entertaining items in the background to help make it look good. That's what we want. That's what our plan is. But other than that, the podcast goes on. This is episode number 2. We actually have 3, but the first one was a beta, just to test it and see how we sounded. And everybody said we sounded pretty good. Sorry about that. But we just didn't have video. So we're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're also on YouTube. We just don't have videos on there. We just got an image. But you can listen to it on there. And hopefully this video will go up on YouTube and everything will be fine. So what are we going to talk about tonight? So I got a couple things. We're going to talk about, we already talked about Tracy and his wife and why he's not here. And the other thing is about the podcast schedule. We're going to try to get one out every week. It might not be the same day. We work in retail. And if you've ever worked in retail, and most people have, your schedules will never, you don't have the best schedule in the world. You got to work weekends, you got to work nights, and you got to do that kind of stuff. And sometimes we have Tuesdays off together. So we decided to do it on Tuesday. But the last 2 weeks, I was scheduled to work late on Tuesday at a different store. We're not in the same store we used to be a long time ago. But he's in the Florence store, and he was off. So he couldn't do the podcast. And then we was going to do it on Wednesday since I was off and he was off. So I went to his house. Like I said earlier, we got everything set up, and his wife had that accident. But other than that, we're going to try to get one out every week and hopefully release it by Friday. And sometimes it might be that night. I mean, it might be easy editing and we might just get it done. All right. So we talked about the garage, cleaning out. I also went to the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio. It's more of a bodybuilding kind of event, and there's a lot of equipment and weightlifting equipment like that. But I'm not going to bore you guys. This is a motorcycle podcast. But I did get to meet Chris Bumstead there. My wife got me some tickets to get a photograph with him. At the time that we was getting the photograph, there was some technical issues, so I got to talk to him a little bit. And then what was kind of strange is later on, while I was waiting for my picture, everybody was getting their picture, their photograph, and it's like, wow, when are we going to get ours? Well, we had to retake it, so I got to meet him again and got another picture with him, which that was pretty cool. And he's he's a very humble guy. He's very nice. And, what can you say about an outstanding guy like that? Outstanding character of that guy. So anyway, that's what I did this weekend. So I didn't do any riding. Went to Columbus on Saturday, cleaned out my garage out on Sunday, and I missed out on some probably very good riding weather that we probably won't see for a very long time, probably another month. But anyway, the group that I'm with, Indian, let's see if I get my mouse over here, right? Okay, let's go here. All right, so we do have some groups, rides coming up. Let's see if I can get this thing to work. Which is not working for some reason. Come on, there we go. All right, so actually, Northern Kentucky Indian, or Indian of Northern Kentucky, they're going to have a Saturday ride this Saturday. The weather doesn't look too good, but they are going to have a ride this Saturday. And I think I don't know exactly what the ride is about, but they just go riding around, I think, in the surrounding area. And let's see what it here. It says, meet at 10 a.m., kickstands up at 10:30. First ride of the season. Note the ride will be 1.5 to 2 hours long, nonstop. Please be prepared for fuel before you go there. So make sure you fill your motorcycle up. You don't want to be going to a ride and telling people, say, listen, guys, I need to get gas before we go. That's not going to work out, man. So please do not do that. But do go to their website and sign up for it. Don't just show up. That way they can kind of plan of how many people is going to be there. But yeah, that's one of the rides that's coming. This coming up. Let's see here. What else we got here? Um, and then the group I'm with, Indian Motorcycle Riding Group, 2074, first ride of the year, 2024. We're going to be going to Yellow Springs, and this is going to be on March 16th at 9 a.m. Kickstands up, and then we're going to be going to Yellow Springs, Ohio, which is a pretty nice town. It's up there by Dayton and in between, I think, Springfield, maybe. I've been there a couple times. The back streets and the alleys are pretty cool in that town. But I think there's a university up there too, Yellow Springs University or something like that up there. But it's going to be a nice ride. And then let's see what else we got here. And then we got a meeting on March 20th at 6:30, and that's going to be at Buffalo Bob's. Now, if you're interested in joining these and you have an Indian motorcycle, I mean, it's not required, but we like you to have an Indian motorcycle. Yeah, I mean, you can actually buy one at Indian of Northern Kentucky if you want to. They have plenty in stock. But just search for this group on Facebook, and ask to join. And if we let you in, I guess you can come to the meeting. We'd rather you not just show up and say, oh, yeah, I saw this on Facebook or I saw this on the podcast. We're not affiliated with them at all. I just ride with these folks. It's a good group of just common people that, I can say there's no crazy, hardcore people in this group. We're just casual and we like to ride casual. So there's no standards. I mean, you got to know how to ride and you can't be dangerous and stuff like that. We will notice who you are really fast, and you will not be allowed to ride with us. So I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But other than that, there's a meeting on Wednesday, March 20th at 6:30 p.m. I need to get my glasses on. Wow. All right. And then we have the next ride that we have. I guess we have another meeting before that ride. It's going to be on February 21st. Oh, sorry, not February 21st. I'm looking at the wrong thing here. That for some reason it's there. There we go. See more. See, this is live, folks. We make mistakes. All right. So then we have another meeting on April 17th, which is my wife's birthday. Boy, she's going to have fun going there. We're going to get some cake at the Buffalo Bob's there. Make sure it's free, guys. Somebody's got to pay for that. But anyway, it's her birthday on April 17th, and we'll be there at 6:30 p.m. She's probably not going to be too happy that we'll be going to a meeting. Yeah, she'll love it, actually. She loves going to these meetings. But other than that, there's going to be a meeting then at Buffalo Bob's. And then the ride that I'm looking forward to is a group ride going to Little Nashville, Indiana. If you have never been there, Little Nashville, Indiana is a nice little town. It's kind of like Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Sevierville, Tennessee. It's got that feel, but it's really small. It's got a lot of fudge shops, a lot of there's actually a couple of leather shops. There's also a motorcycle accessory dealer right outside of the town when you're coming in. But yeah, it's going to be a nice ride, and that's going to be April 27th, and we're going to be leaving kickstands up at 9 a.m. So basically, that's it on the rides coming up. And hopefully they appreciate me actually sharing this information. Like I said, we're not affiliated with this group at all. We just members of this group. I'm not any admin or anything like that. It's just a casual group. They seem to like each other and get along, and we just enjoy riding, basically. And riding in groups, you want to be safe and you want to trust the person that you're riding next to. So sometimes when you go to these group rides, you don't know who you're going to be riding next to you don't know who you're going to be riding next to. It could be very experienced or very inexperienced, or just a person that doesn't really care about the riding experience other than theirself. And I hate to say that, but that's the truth. It happens. All right. So let's see what else we got here. Looks like they got a bunch of new members. It is actually let into the group. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 new members 3 hours ago. So congratulations to the group. We got some new members. All right. So let's talk about the weather. We'll try to go 10 days out. And that's includes the day that the ride's going to be going to Yellow Springs. And tomorrow it's going to be a high of 62. If it wasn't raining 60% of the time, it'd probably be okay to ride. If it was sunny, it would have been great. Saturday, it's going to be a high of 59, 80% chance of rain. Sunday, partly cloudy, but it's going to be 44 degrees. It sucks, but no rain. And then Monday, 54 degrees, supposedly sunny, with no rain in the forecast. I can't wait to see that. Hopefully it's going to be true. And Tuesday, 64 degrees, 0, but partly, mostly sunny. But it's going to be 64 degrees. So that's going to be a good riding night. Also, time does go ahead this weekend. So make sure Saturday you literally, put that clock 1 hour when you go to bed up, or you're going to be late to work, and your boss is not going to be liking that. I think I said Tuesday, it's going to be 64. Wednesday, 70. Wow. 70 degrees on Wednesday. And low is going to be 51, and it's going to have a 20% chance of rain. And then Thursday, a high of 69, 20% chance of rain. Friday, 67, 60% chance of rain. And then that ride on March 16th, hopefully it's not going to be like that. But 60% chance of rain and a high of 58. If it's like that, I probably won't be going. Other than that, that is the weather forecast for riding for the next couple of weeks. And this is the tri-state area, Kentucky, Ohio, and Indiana. Okay, so this is not for Nevada or Florida or anything like that, which probably Florida has better weather than we have. So it's probably, they don't even have to worry about the weather. It does like spotty showers once in a while. Like every 2 hours or so. But anyway, that is the weather. All right. So what else we want to talk about here? So we are going to talk about topic counter steering. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Let's see if I knock some of this stuff off that I had listed here. We talked about the events. So let's talk about counter steering. Okay. So let me go to one of these websites here and see if we can find a good video of counter steering. Yeah, that's right. You can probably hear my little keyboard. Yep, it is clicking away. All right, so let's get this back over there. All right. So I can't play too much of it, but we'll see what happens. This is a video.
Real quick, I'm going to explain how to counter steer on a motorcycle. Yeah. If you want to lean right, you push forward on the right handlebar. If you want to lean left, you push forward on the left handlebar. Right, left. A lot of times when people talk about counter steering, they think they're talking about turning the handlebars in the opposite direction, and that can kind of get your head messed.
Exactly right. So a lot of people do think that. All right. And then this video is from this is like Body Moto, so I don't want to give him credit. But anyway, he's exactly right. A lot of people say counter steering, that you're actually trying to turn the handlebars the opposite, but that's not true. So what happens is if I had a set of handlebars here, which hopefully if you're watching the video, you know what I'm talking about. So if you're going down the road and there's a curve and you want to lean into it, you're going left. You want to push the handlebars down on the left side. And believe it or not, you're thinking, no, this is not going to work. It actually does. All right. It works, and it's genius. And this is a skill that you need to have when you're riding a motorcycle. Okay. If you want to go through that curve at the best speed possible without causing any issues of, slamming on your brakes or going straight through that curve and hitting a couple trees, you don't want that to happen. All right. So what I would suggest is go to Dick's Sporting Goods or something like that, not a sponsor, and buy some of them soccer cones. Go to a park or go to a school where there's a parking lot, a pretty good sized parking lot, and then space them cones in a straight line every 10 feet, maybe 12 feet, whatever's good for you, how big your bike is, and actually weave in and out them cones And when you're going left, you push down left. You're going right, you push down right. And you will get that motion, and practice makes perfect, right? So, and then actually do it out on the road when you're going down in a curve, lean and push down to the left if you're going left, and you're going to be going, wow, why have I never done this before? And you're going to feel much safer going through curves instead of like actually getting scared, slamming on your brakes, and then the person behind you has no idea what's going on and almost hits you, or you're going too fast and you go right into the woods, like I said earlier. And we don't want that to happen. We want you to have a safe ride at all times. That's the reason why we have these topics. That's the reason why we want people to watch these videos and listen to them, because it's very, I mean, if you're a new rider, this is something very important that you need to learn. And you can't be standing up going through a curve, all right, or sitting up. You need to lean as much as you possibly can, that you feel comfortable about it, and go the speed that you're feeling comfortable about. I'm not talking about going 60 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour curve. Okay, let's follow the rules or the laws and go through that curve, but also use counter steering. And if you really are scared of it, go to a park where there's a parking lot that has a pretty good sized parking lot, and there's not a lot of people in it, especially churches during the week. Probably the best place, or a school, and set them cones out, and then weave in and out, and then keep on doing it. And then you can also do some slow curves and stuff like that. That might help you out too also. So do some slow skill riding, and that's very important too. Bigger the bike, people think it's the harder it is, but I've seen people do figure eights in 2 parking spots on a huge bike. So it can be done. All right. So that's counter steering. If you have any questions, let us know. Either go to our website, which it's kind of like a little mini Facebook. We have a social media thing there. You sign up, join. We do have some merch there. We have to pay for some of the stuff that we are buying, but we're doing this for fun. And that's what we're doing it for. And we've always talked about it. When I worked with Tracy and Josh at the store in Florence, we were always joking. And people would be like, man, you guys are like the funniest thing in the world. So we said, you know what, maybe we should do a podcast. And then Tracy said, well, let's do one on motorcycles, and I said, you know what, let's try it. Let's see what happens. And that's how Beta 1 came out a couple weeks ago. And that's how we started. So, all right. So counter steering. If you have any issues, like I said, look me up on Facebook, send me a question, go to our website, send me a question, go to YouTube, type out a comment, and we'll let you know our experiences. Now, listen, I haven't been riding a motorcycle for 30 years. There's a lot of experienced riders out there that know tons more than I do, or Tracy. So we could be wrong sometimes. So please understand that. We are doing what we're saying is what our experiences are. Okay. So just be aware of that. I mean, what we always say, ride your own ride. Okay. And then, but if you go do some of these groups, you're gonna feel uncomfortable if you can't keep up. And so, if you do some of these group runs, and that might be the reason why you don't do group runs, because you've never experienced it, and you're riding next to somebody and they're going 65 miles per hour, and that's probably the highest you've probably ever been on your motorcycle, and you're like scared shitless, and you just don't know, you're like, I'm never gonna do this again. But the more you do it, the more comfortable you get it, the more practice you get in it, and the more perfect you get. And you start learning other rider skills. And when you're next to a person that you probably shouldn't be, and you want to drop back and let somebody else get up there. But just remember that. Ride your own ride. Okay. All right. So what else we got here? So let's talk about some other things like motorcycle safety. Okay. This spring, a lot of people are going to be getting motorcycles. And what I would say, probably the first upgrade they do is usually the seat. And I think that's probably not the best decision. And I think the best decision is actually getting some lighting in the front to make you more visible. These stock headlights are, they got to go by the laws and they can only be so bright and that kind of stuff. So they're not the brightest. I mean, believe it or not, I changed mine out the first day I bought my motorcycle, and and it was the best thing I did because the one just had one LED in it, and it didn't do anything when you turned or left. Now I have one that actually, when I turn, it shines light on the ground, and it shines light on the right side. Um, you want to be visible. You want to be like a freight train coming down the road. You don't want to be a bird, and that's what most riders see when they look down and they down the highway, and they look left and they look right, and then they pull out in front of a motorcycle because they do not see the motorcycle. They don't see the tractor trailer, the pickup truck, or the mid-sized car, and they all have daylight driving lights most of the time on, right? So, but when a motorcycle is only this big, and you're coming down the road and they just don't see it. They just do it quick because everybody's in a fast. I mean, it's like, oh my God, we got to go fast. I got to get to the store. I gotta go. And they just look really quick, and they're just like, okay, I didn't see anything. Pull out, bam, right in front of a motorcycle. So, and then you have to do your part. You have to be ready at all times. You got to be seeing that person, at the stop sign, get ready to pull out, and you got to be aware that that person might not see you, and you got to have your hands ready, your feet ready, and don't be going faster. Okay, that's not going to help you. Don't go like, oh, I'm going to beat this person out so they don't pull out in front of me. That doesn't work. All right, you might think it does, but it doesn't. But anyway, but I would suggest you to get a headlight, a brighter headlight, some fog lights, or what driving lights, a lot of people call them, and just get more lights in the front to make you more visible. There's also options that you can get for brakes, like strobing. I know, Dynamics has a strober for motorcycles where you hit the brakes and the red light flashes like this, and it goes like this and gets the attention of the driver behind you, so they know that you're stopping. Because a lot of times people are texting and they see that in their peripheral vision, they see that light flickering. They go, oh, what's going on? And they look up and they stop in time. So that's another good thing right there, is to get a strober for the back of your brakes, your brake lights. All right. So I think I'm done. I'm pretty close. And I hope this was good for everybody. The closing marks here, and hopefully I don't go any longer than I need to, but there's a couple things that we want to discuss. Is we have a website. It's ironponylife.com. Sign up. We're going to put the podcast out there every week that whenever we make it, and hopefully it is every week. Like I said, schedule dictates differently, but we're going to make it work. And we enjoy doing this, and we're just going to get better. I mean, this is our third podcast. Well, my third podcast, second in the season, because we're doing a season. We're hopefully going to do about 8 or 10, and then we'll start over after that. But this is the third for me, second for Tracy, and it's only going to get better. The more we feel comfortable being in front of the camera and the mic, and hopefully not touching the mic every time I move my hands, it'll be better for you listening. But anyway, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, and we're also on YouTube. So please check us out. And we also have Iron Pony Life on Facebook. We also part of the IMRG Northern Kentucky Motorcycle Group. You can find us there, and you'll see us around. Me and Tracy ride around all the time, and hopefully we're going to have good weather. And the more motorcycles out there, the more people are aware of us. And if you can get that bumper sticker, that yellow one that everybody sees, or everyone puts on the back of their bumper for motorcycles, please do so. I don't know exactly where you can get them at, but I'm sure they're probably at a motorcycle shop or a dealer, you probably can get them there, and so on. But anyway, I appreciate everybody listening, and hopefully this video is a lot better than what it feels like for me. And I appreciate everybody listening. Everybody, even though nobody's listening. All right, everybody have a good night.